All right, the head of the NYPD Sergeants Union blasting New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio for jetting off to Germany to go join the anti-capitalist protest going on over there, while his city mourns the murder of an NYPD officer. Here's what he told a local radio station. New York City is right now mourning the loss of a police officer who was dedicated to the city of New York, and we have our mayor who has just gone to Germany to join protesters. Is this the type of city we want to live in? Joining me right now, former Secret Service agent and former NYPD officer Dan Bongino. Good to have you here. Dan, what's your reaction to the mayor's move?
Yeah, Trish, this is one of those stories that makes former law enforcement, active law enforcement personnel like myself absolutely sick and furious, to be candid. You have the leader of the city, elected, by the way, and paid. Now the election's over. He's the mayor of New York to lead the city. You had a cop assassinated in cold blood. You have a growing anti-police climate in this country. What do? You fly to Germany to give a speech to a group of protesters who, by the way, Trish, of note, were responsible for injuring nearly 200 police officers in Germany during the protest. Now, granted, it was a minority of the protesters, but there were still police injured.
Dan, why are you doing it?
Because he's catering to his far-left base. Trish, this is a growing problem in the Democrat Party. I don't blame all Democrats for it, but the party has been hijacked by the far-left base, the BLM types, the Black Lives Matter types, the Occupy Wall Street types, and they are afraid of alienating voters. What Bill de Blasio needs is a sister soldier moment like Bill Clinton had, where he does the right thing, not the easy thing. You know, crisis times.
It's not even that he's alienating. He's embracing the alternative. I mean, taken to the streets, and we've got some video we can show our viewers, Dan. I mean, these people, they were not doing this in a peaceful way. They had cars that were being put on fire. They were looting stores. These protests turned violent. So by going there and by speaking to them, he's essentially, offering his support, sanctioning this as though this is okay behavior.
Of course he is. Trish, listen, in times of crisis, real leaders, genuine, authentic, bold leaders stand up. And they do the right thing, not the easy thing. Bill de Blasio is not one of those guys. Bill de Blasio has zero political spine. He is focused only on campaign donations, re-election, and left-wing ideology.
Here's the thing, Dan, though. I think it's more complicated than that, in that he's smart. You got to give him a little more credit here. He's thinking forward to the next move, right? So he wants people who are anti-capitalists in the streets of Hamburg there, protesters on his side. So this is a very calculated move. It's not necessarily an easy thing to do. It's his calculation that he will move forward politically if he embraces this kind of behavior.
Trish, we're saying the exact same thing, but I guess where I'm disagreeing on the terminology here is it is the easy thing for a Democrat now. You have a city and a nation where the Democrat Party, having a D in front of your name, has taken a far-left tilt. So what he wants is their money, and he wants these people to go out and knock on doors for him. So instead of standing up and having a political spine and backing up his men and women in blue who are literally putting their lives on the line, what did he do? He made the chump move, and he went overseas and spoke to a bunch of radical protesters to not alienate the base. It's a very easy decision for him. It's just not the right one.
You think that gets him somewhere politically in America?
Oh, absolutely. Why wouldn't he? Needs to win a primary. He has national ambitions. Everybody knows it. Everybody's running to the left. Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren. These are the ones with the profiles and the money. This is an easy call. I
hear you, Dan, and I get it for them politically. Maybe they think this is a calculated move, but here's what they're missing. They are missing the fact that Americans have a work ethic, that Americans like the idea of being able to achieve prosperity, and the harder you work, the more successful you will become. And that is something that is fundamental to our core. Bernie Sanders missed that. We are not socialists. We are not. But I guess the idea is you campaign so far to the left, you get some kind of fringe movement supporting you, and you think you can go somewhere with that. I don't think ultimately you go anywhere. I certainly hope not.
You know, Trish, I'm glad you said that. Yes, we are hard workers, but they just don't care. Bernie Sanders nearly won the Democratic nomination running as a socialist. Elizabeth Warren raises tens of millions of dollars by talking about how, your hard work is due to the work of the government, not to you. I mean, this is where the Democrat Party is. I just beg to differ. This is an easy call for a Democrat like de Blasio with no political spine. I mean, look at a centrist like Jim Webb. He could barely get out of the first debate of the Democratic primary. That's a Democrat 40 years ago.
Wow.
Bill de Blasio, sadly, is a Democrat now.
Look, I think that they are very misguided not to go back to the Democratic Party that they were 40 years ago. The hardworking, middle-class American worker, that is what matters today. And they are making perhaps a calculated move. I hope it's a big mistake of a move, because fundamentally this is not who we are. We are not France. Dan, good to see you. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
or Hamburg,
Trish.
Germany, for that matter. Hollywood.